Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Pogba recently gave an exclusive interview and he slams Jose Mourinho. He says Jose Mourinho went against Manchester United players. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is different. So reflecting on that, Paul Pogba is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in 100%. So I'm going to click on it and just see some of the things that I did actually say. I'll delve into it more. If I can get onto it, if it loads up, swear. Swear there a second. So this is something he said. He put, what I have now with Ollie is different. He wouldn't go against the players. Pogba exclusively told Sky Sports in an interview that will run in ahead of Manchester United Super Sunday clash with Burnley. He wouldn't go against the players. Maybe Ollie wouldn't pick them, but it's not like he puts them on the side like they don't exist anymore. That's the difference between Mourinho and Ollie. Once I had a great relationship with Mourinho, everybody saw that, and the next day you don't know what happened. That's the strange thing I had with Mourinho, and I cannot explain to you because even I don't know. So, yeah. And yeah, obviously, Pogba's not been the only player to not see eye to eye with Mourinho, with Luke Shaw frozen out of the first team, fouled after the former United boss suggested he lacked football intelligence. Shaw has previously said Mourinho was right to criticise him in a bid to try and improve his performances, but the left-back recently admitted it was a very difficult time of his career. Since Solskjaer's appointment, however, Shaw has flourished, forcing his way back into the England setup after a 3-year absence, and Pogba believes the current Man United manager has played a crucial role in helping his teammates' qualities come to the fore. Maybe Solskjaer's methods work because he is a bit closer to the people. Pogba explained, every coach has their own way to coach and deal with players, and as a player you have to adapt. Sometimes it doesn't suit you and sometimes it does. Ollie has helped Luke a lot. It was a difficult season with Luke and Mourinho, and he has proved he has the quality he always had and the trust of the manager. So yeah, so they are some of the things that are in Sky Sports. To be honest, Shane, I think Paul Pogba's right to criticise Mourinho. We had Jose Mourinho for 2.5 years. You can say he enjoyed one good season at Man United because Mourinho did win 3 trophies at Manchester United. That's the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield. And he also got second. I think it was in his first season. But the main explanations it didn't work out under Mourinho is because he had bad disputes with the board, and in general the board weren't backing the signings that he wanted to recommend in, and he didn't get on with the top players. And you can probably say Man United did appoint him in too late. I think there's a very, very good chance that Paul Pogba will stay at the club, potentially past the summer. But there's a chance he will leave in the summer transfer window. I'd like him to stay potentially past the summer because Paul Pogba brings creativity to the team. Disregarding Pogba, we lack creativity and we are far too defensive. We've been getting the best out of Paul Pogba in recent months because his performances have been very, very good. I prefer Pogba in more of an advanced role because that's where he's more effective. And we've been putting him in more of an advanced role recently. I'm not too keen on him in a deeper role. Don't forget, earlier on this season, Pogba had a thigh injury and he was out for quite a while. He had an ankle injury at the first part of this season and he was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. Our players would be devastated if the club decided to sell Pogba in the summer. Solskjaer said earlier on this season that Paul Pogba's future lies at Man United and he hopes Paul Pogba will stay and sign a new contract. Paul Pogba's current contract expires next year. Earlier on this season we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, so he's under contract on Man United until June 2022. He's had a long-running transfer saga. He's been linked with a return to Juventus. I said if he leaves Man United, there's a good chance he'll go back to Juve because he did enjoy 4 good years with them before he rejoined Man United, and swap deals have been high on the agenda. Reports from the Italian press have recently said there could be a swap deal involving Cristiano Ronaldo and Paul Pogba. You know, it said the other week that Juventus are willing to offer us Paulo Dybala in a swap deal for Paul Pogba. Real Madrid have been relentlessly linked with him, PSG have been in for him, and Barcelona have been in for him. Mourinho has obviously been desperate to get his client out of the football club. A few weeks ago, he was doing a lot of talking. He criticised Sir Alex Ferguson for forcing Pogba out of the club when he was younger. I presume all United fans disagreed with him criticising Ferguson. And he said he doesn't give a fuck if he doesn't take another player to Man United as long as his clients are happy. He did say though earlier on this season that he's got no intentions of destabilising his client's season, and he made an admission saying that he's working quietly on Paul Pogba's transfer to avoid offence. Because Mourinho doesn't have a good relationship with Man United and he has been criticised a lot. And he made an announcement back in December regarding Paul Pogba, and Solskjaer was furious with Mourinho's announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig. Matthias Pogba, Paul Pogba's brother, he gave us an update on Paul Pogba's future earlier on this season. He actually advised us to sell Paul Pogba because he said there's a good chance he'll leave on a free next year and he's got no intentions of extending his contract. This is his 5th season at the football club since he rejoined. Most expensive sign at the moment, paid £89 million for him. Obviously, Paul Pogba played yesterday against Granada. Got the assist for Edison Cavani's goal. It was a backward header from Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba had to be taken off though. He did receive a yellow card in the game. Now, I want to delve into some news on Erling Halland. Erling Halland leaving Borussia Dortmund is very likely after Borussia Dortmund's Champions League exit to Manchester City. Now, it recently said that we are worried about the Erling Haaland transfer pursuit because of Jadon Sancho. Mourinho, Erling Haaland's agent, wants to make his client the first £1 million a week player. The Athletic recently said that we are one of the clubs that can afford Halland. There's not many that can afford him. Dortmund are demanding 150 million. He said the other week that Erling Haaland to Manchester United is off following Mino Raiola's roadshow. The other week, Mino Raiola and Erling Haaland's father, Halland Halland, flew to England for talks with several Premier League clubs. The other week, they also held talks with Barcelona and Real Madrid. It did say we declined to meet Mino Raiola over discussing a possible deal for Halland. Now, the main explanations I take Halland at Manchester United is because, one, he knows Ole Gunnar Solskjaer well. Solskjaer gave Erling Haaland his debut at just the age of 16 at Molde. And it'd be good to see Solskjaer reunite with the player. Number two, Erling Haaland would assure us goals. And number three, he's young and he's still got a lot of development in him. Now, a few weeks ago, it said that Ole kept calling Erling Haaland to persuade him to join Manchester United. Earlier on this season, it said that Ole was following his progress and he was keeping in touch with the player. Solskjaer did also reveal how impressed he was with Haaland in training when he was at Molde, but he made an admission saying he struggled with bad knees at Molde. Prior to the game against Brighton, in Solskjaer's press conference, he played down talks of Man United chasing Haaland. He said the player will make his own mind up. Back in December 2019, don't forget, Solskjaer and Woodward went to Norway to meet up with Erling Haaland to negotiate a possible move to Man United. Erling Haaland's father, Halland Halland, has spoken about his son's career and his prospects, and he's spoken about his son's transfer links to Man United before. Halland has a £68 million release clause, but it doesn't become active until next year. Erling Haaland has been at Dortmund around 15-16 months now. He's got a contract with them till 2024, and Dortmund paid just £17 million for him. So that's more news on Erling Haaland. We've been looking at a few strikers, haven't we? There's been a lot of narratives coming out regarding Harry Kane recently. Now, it says that Harry Kane wants to stay in the Premier League if he decides to leave Tottenham. Now, Harry Kane wants to leave Tottenham at the end of the season if Tottenham fail to qualify for the Champions League. Now, it recently said that PSG are looking to beat us and City to the signing of Kane. It actually said that Harry Kane to Man United is off following Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Jose Mourinho's bust-up not so long ago. We'll have to make an offer of at least 120 million to convince Tottenham to offload him. David Ornstein was talking about Harry Kane not so long ago, and he said he spoke to people in football. He said that Harry Kane wants to leave Tottenham because he's unhappy. He said he's committed to Tottenham whilst he's there, but he wants to win the biggest trophies, and he's not experiencing this at Tottenham. Earlier on this season, it said that Kane had dealt Tottenham a major blow because he's refused to commit his future to the club. He's delaying his transfer decision until after the Euros. Harry Kane's won the Golden Boot a couple of times. He's regarded as one of the best strikers in the world because he is a prolific goal scorer. And he's obviously well proven in the Premier League. He's been at Tottenham 17 years, so he's been a long-serving player. He's been their senior squad since 2009. and he's got a contract with Tottenham until 2024. He's had a few loan spells before with Leyton Orient, Millwall, Norwich and Leicester. And I think he's 27 years of age. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he's a good striker. He's done very well for Everton, and I'd take him at Manchester United. There's been quite a few centre-halves on our agenda as well, hasn't there? I recently gave you the news on Rafael Varane. Reports from Spain said yesterday that Man United were in advanced talks with Rafael Varane. So reflecting on that, he said Rafael Varane to Man United is close. We are preparing a transfer bid. Rafael Varane's ready to leave Real Madrid in the summer. Real Madrid are demanding 60 million, but we hope to lower Real Madrid's 60 million asking price. Rafael Varane's contract talks with Real Madrid have stalled. He's got over a year left on his contract with Real Madrid. Eduardo Inda, the Spanish transfer expert, said earlier on this season that Rafael Varane could be on his way to Man United in the summer. There was narratives coming out earlier on this season though saying that Real Madrid are prepared to sell Rafael Varane on one condition. Varane must inform Real Madrid on his decision to leave. But I'd certainly take him at Man United. He's a world-class centre-half and he'd complement Harry Maguire in our back line. Hasn't played in the Premier League yet, but I can assure if he comes to the Premier League, he'll exceed expectations and he'll replicate what he's done at Real Madrid. He's been at Real Madrid 10 years now. He's won 18 major honours and he's made over 300 appearances. Real Madrid paid €10 million for him from Lens. Said the other week that Solskjaer had drawn up a 6-man centre-back shortlist. The first 4 names are Jules Koundé, Rafael Varane, Pau Torres from Villarreal and Konate from RB Leipzig. But yeah, in the summer transfer window, I'm expecting Manchester United to make around 3 or 4 signings. Reports said not so long ago that Man United will spend big in the summer transfer window, but Solskjaer said he wants to keep transfer dealings quiet. He did. And I've identified the areas where Manchester United need to strengthen up. I think we need a striker, we need a right winger, we need a defensive midfielder, and we also need a centre-half. I can assure that Solskjaer will be Manchester United manager in the summer transfer window. And he'll be Man United manager next season because we've already said that Solskjaer will not be sacked even if we fail to win the Europa League. The Europa League is our only chance of any silverware this season. We've got a very, very good chance of winning the Europa League. We're now into the semi-finals. You know, it's 5 semi-finals under Solskjaer. We do play Roma in the semi-final. Solskjaer has spoke out on Man United facing Roma in the semi-finals and he said Edin Dzeko will pose the biggest threat, you know, for when we play Roma. Solskjaer says we are aiming to finish the season with a trophy because that would make it a great season. Don't forget Solskjaer did say last month that winning trophies can be an ego thing. He said that in regards to some other managers and some other clubs, but he knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board. You know, we haven't won a trophy since 2017. And that's nowhere near good enough to our standards. I can assure we'll finish in the top 4 in the league this season. I'd say reflecting on that 3-1 win against Tottenham recently, that secures us a second place finish. So we get second this season and win the Europa League. I'll turn around and say that represents a good season for Man United and that gives us something to build on going on into next season. You know, I said Solskjaer does deserve another season at least because he has made progress in certain aspects. Solskjaer should get the backing he deserves in the summer transfer window because obviously we've got John Murtough. He's our director of football. John Murtough knows the club through thick and thin. And we've got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director. And he knows the club through thick and thin because he endured 2 decades as a player for Man United. And obviously Woodward standing by Solskjaer, he believes Solskjaer is the right man to lead the club forward. You know? But I've got to definitely say that Solskjaer is our best manager since Ferguson. There's a lot of positive, you know, regarding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You know, he's now got us to the Europa League semi-final. You know, got us to the FA Cup quarter-final this season. Got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season. We're unbeaten in our last 23 Premier League away games. So we haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. Went on a 14-game unbeaten run before we lost 3-1 to Leicester in the quarter-final of the FA Cup. You know, last season, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first full season, he did well. He guided us to 3 semi-finals, got us qualification for the Champions League and got us a 3rd place finish. The second highest we've finished since Ferguson. Solskjaer has made good signings as Man United manager. He's spent almost £300 million. He's got rid of a lot of the deadwood as well since he's come in. I like the way he has promoted the youth. His decision making in some games has been good, but he's got to show tactical flexibility persistently. He's beaten big name managers as well. And in general, we've enjoyed very good periods under Ole where we have seen consistency. And in some of them good periods, he's got the best out of the team. And we are sitting second in the Premier League, so there are the positives regarding Solskjaer. Obviously, a lot of Manchester United fans have been demanding Ole out. Obviously, they've got main explanations why they want him out. I was demanding him out at one point. But I presume that there's Man United fans that are Ole in and believes that he needs more time. The main explanation is still Manchester United manager is because he's a club legend. That's what's basically saved him. I'd say disregarding being a club legend, I can almost assure he wouldn't have been here now because we have enjoyed very bad periods under Ole where you can turn around and say, yeah, he was lucky not to be sacked. But whether Solskjaer succeeds as Man United manager or not, we'll still always love him because he's a club legend. He enjoyed 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. He hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager, but reflecting now on he's been at the club, he has gained some managerial experience and he's learnt quite a bit on the job and he's tried a few different elements and all of that. Before he was with us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. And don't forget, Ole managed Man United reserve team for a couple of years, so he watched some of this team grow and develop. Ole knew when he'd taken over at Man United it was going to be a massive job despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. You know, we appointed him in December 2018 and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. The club gave him the job permanently 2 years ago, reflecting on how well he did as the interim manager. A lot of United fans said, you know, we give him the job too soon. Maybe we should have waited until the end of that particular season to decide or not whether to give him the job. We know that Solskjaer's already agreed a new 3-year contract at the club, worth 30 million. Solskjaer's still got 1 year left on his current 3-year contract. In the last 8 years, we have been playing catch-up. Obviously, we've had different managers with different philosophies. You know, the 3 managers that we've sacked since Ferguson was David Moyes. We sacked him after 10 months. He's the worst manager we've ever had. We finished 7th under the David Moyes era. That's the lowest we've finished in the Premier League era. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years. He did win the FA Cup though, and we sacked Mourinho after 2.5 years, and he won 3 trophies. We haven't only had different managers with different philosophies. You know, we've overpaid for players in recent years. You know, our recruitment in general has been poor, and in that aspect, the blame stems from the board. You know, the board has been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years, no doubt about it. And mistakes have been made in the last 8 years, and that's why we haven't been as consistent as we'd like to have been. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. That's 8 years ago now. Question is Solskjaer good enough to lead us to a Premier League title? We haven't been the same team since Ferguson retired. We know that. A lot of United fans predicted it was all going to go wrong when Ferguson retired. No one's going to replicate what Ferguson did at the club. No one's going to last as long as he did. You know, Ferguson enjoyed what? A 26, 27 year tenure. Won 30 odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles. So Ferguson brought success to the club. But he didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. We've brought around 37 players in since Ferguson retired, and we've spent over £1 billion on them. Yes, on my next video, I will be giving you a preview for the Burnley game. We do play them on Sunday. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update for today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.